Now to the money, the controversy over the will. Because the Illuminati, the elite rich, the crowned heads of Europe, like to keep the money in the family. They will marry each other to keep it there. After Heath Ledger's death, in response to some press reports about his will, filed in New York City on February 28, 2008, his daughter's access to his financial legacy, his father, Kim, said that he considered the financial well-being of his granddaughter, Matilda Rose, that Ledger's family, absolute priority, and her mother, Michelle Williams, an integral part of our family, he said, adding in his public statement, they will be taken care of, and that's how Heath would want it to be. Here's where it takes the twisty turn. Some relatives of Heath Ledger may be challenging the legal status of his will signed in 2003, before the birth of his daughter, which was filed in New York, and divides half of the $60 million estate between his parents and half among his siblings. They claim that there's a second unsigned will, which leaves most of that estate to Matilda Rose, the young daughter. An unsigned will, mind you. Michelle Williams' father, the mother, his name is Larry, has also joined the controversy about Ledger's will as it was filed in New York City soon after his death. March 31st, 2008, an exclusive report published in Australia stated that Heath Ledger's family believed the late actor may have fathered a secret love child when he was 17, and that if it is confirmed that Ledger is the girl's biological father, it could split his multi-million-dollar estate between Matilda Rose and his secret love child. Just as it was with Heath Ledger, I believe the secret love child of Laurence Olivier was Heath Ledger also. Can't you see the hidden bloodline in all of this? It's because it's becoming so clear. It's becoming very clear after researching tonight's show, even more than before. For me, I've suspected for a long time now that this hidden lineage is now spread into many places, like politics, business, entertainment, and even into sports. And I'm sure it is. Spaceman, AM 640, Toronto Radio. Anna Nicole Smith sort of comes up too when you start thinking about this love child and who the father is and the bloodline is. You notice when there's a lot of money, it's always the bloodline, because there are very important people involved. Royalty. Space, back with more in a moment. AM 640, Toronto Radio.
He goes deeper into today's headlines than anyone else dares to go. But you can take it. This is A View from Space with the Spaceman on AM 640.
What do we got?
Nothing. No name, no other alias. Clothing is custom. Nothing in his pockets but knives and lint.
Evening, Commissioner. Why so serious?
Going inside the life of Heath Andrew Ledger, plays the Joker in the Batman The Dark Knight movie, which opened this weekend in theaters, and they waited until midnight. Yes, they gave it the Harry Potter treatment. Doors open at midnight. Because this is a very highly occult movie with a very highly occult ritual blood sacrifice attached with it. The upcoming movie Ledger's death affected the marketing campaign for Chris Nolan's The Dark Knight, of course, and also actually give it a boost. It really did. It was really another reason for Batman The Dark Knight to be a must-see. Believe it or not, it's like a car accident. People know it's going to be ugly, but they have to look anyway. And that's what I believe Batman The Dark Knight is. Ugly. It is showing you a spiritual ugliness. Yet there are millions and millions that will go and gladly give their money in an economy that's tighter than a drumhead. Why? Why fund the enemy? That's another show. I'm Space. It's AM 640, Toronto Radio. This death also has upset Terry Gilliam's The Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus movie. And both directors intend their films to celebrate and pay tribute to Heath Ledger's work in them. Believe me, they're going to get all they can out of this blood sacrifice. Although Terry Gilliam temporarily suspended production on his film, he expressed the determination to salvage it, in his words, maybe using computer-generated imagery, and plans to dedicate it to the memory of Heath Ledger. In other words, to make him an even greater god. In February 2008, less than a month after the death of Heath Ledger, actors Johnny Depp, Jude Law, and Colin Farrell signed on to take over Ledger's role, becoming multiple incarnations of his character. The part Heath Ledger was playing was Tony in the movie Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus. Tony transformed in the magical world of the film in part as a tribute to Ledger. In all, Heath Ledger completed 18 movies, working on his 19th, which is called The Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus. It's going to be an upcoming American fantasy adventure mystery film. Directed by Gilliam, written by Gilliam, and screenwriter Charles McEwan. In the film, the leader of a traveling theater troupe, through a deal with the devil, sound familiar, takes audience members through a magical mirror to explore their imaginations. Remember, in the occult, a mirror is a way to look into the spirit world. Now, before there were mirrors, there was water. The reflection of the water was the mirror. The ancient Druid priests, as I have said before on A View from Space, on AM 640, Toronto Radio, gone into the sacred oak groves where the pools of water are. Cut off the head of a man, throw it into the water as the sacrifice, and when the ripples stop, after being disturbed by the head being splashed into the water, when it stops and the water becomes still again as a mirror, the Druid priests would look into the water and see the future, or so they said. Isn't this incredible? The leader of a traveling theater troupe, through a deal with the devil, takes audience members through a magical mirror to explore their imaginations.